Well, here we are again for a few minutes early, just so we can have a sneak peek at what's been happening in the previous 4 hours on the tracker before the new position rolls over. So we'll get straight into it. Just have a bit of a squiz here. It's quite interesting, and I'm very impressed with Penjuic. Obviously, Marie and Tom and whoever's doing the decisions have got a plan, and they're really boldly sticking with it, heading straight out to the east, which is fantastic. And I'll talk a bit more about that later on. You can see here the weather is getting a little bit light on for Explorer. She's only been doing 6.5 knots. It's getting quiet. Anyway, Sterner over the side here, 7.1. They've got a bit more breeze for sure. 165 mile day in the last 24 hours. Evrika sorted out their head sail. We'll talk about that as well. Managing 6.5 downwind, obviously under spinnakers. 154 mile day. Triana right up there with Maiden, and so is Evrika and Sterner. I mean, this is crazy. On the run line, they're not far behind. So fortunes are changing rapidly, but Maiden's flying. 9.5 knots there they're showing. And Triana, 8.4. So there's a real race going on there. White Shadow, 6.9. 165 mile day, and Galliana was secure 7.3, right on top of l'Esprit de Keep still at 8.4. So the l'Esprit de Keep is moving a bit. Neptune, for whatever reason, they were going out to the east, now going north. They're lagging a bit behind, but doing 8 knots, 84 mile day. They got hooked up in this calm weather here as it rolled over the top, and Outlaw 3.6 knots drifting along under spinnaker. We just spoke to them on the phone. I'll talk about that in a minute. Translated showing 4.5, broken away from Penjuic going north, but there's this trough that came across and stalled them. And Penjuic, of course, 8.9 knots heading out to the side. Now, this is kind of interesting. People are all confused, but I think what you're seeing happen here is that Marie has picked on the law of averages, and there is a route which goes right to the east. It's the clipper ship route. And normally, if we look back here, there's still not a long way offshore, but traditionally with this South Atlantic high, if you're coming here up to the north, you've got to get out in the middle here and then try and head up, because you're going to get these southeasterly trade winds. And it may well prove a big advantage to Penjuic if it was traditional weather in a week or so, not now. This is putting it in the bank, and I think that's what she's doing. So she's heading out to the east here. She'll come up, roll around, and then this southeasterly trades here. The further away you are from the coast, the more easterly direction. As you get here, they hook down and around. So she's really putting it in the bank to get up there. I think that's what's happening. And if you look at the run line, 90 degrees across, they're pretty much line abreast across here. So it's not as if she's fallen behind. She's just taken a strategic position. And that was the case also for the others that are headed out to the east. It is a plan. But as Paul Coward pointed out on Translated Weekly Update, the routing programs for now, with this weather we've got here currently, and it's a bit of a mix in the corner, the ideal position is following the run line. And that could still play out for another 4 or 5 days. So what's the, will it work out for Penjuic? I got no idea, but I really respect her in the fact that she's being very bold and sticking to the plan regardless. And let's wait and see. In a week's time, all will be revealed. I mean, Penjuic is a much faster boat, bigger, all the rest of it. So so be it. Anyway, come back here a bit and I'll say good day and talk about some of the other news. They're all having a horrible time now, but it's just changed. Well, they've had a horrible time, I should say. To be, only about 600 miles, or it's probably 650 now from the, to be 650, 660 from the start after 6 days, averaging about 110 miles a day. That's a very slow start. So that's the first thing. And it's been horrible conditions. We spoke to Outlaw, and they said it was probably the toughest of the whole race so far, where you had these short, steep waves, a couple of meters. It's quite warm. There's water everywhere. They're struggling to get to windward. It's just not much fun. But now things have changed. They've got spinnakers up, going downwind, having a good time. So that's pretty cool. And, you see the tweets from all the fleet. They're just ugly. The good news is that Evrika seems to have solved or jury rigged an opportunity for them to put head sails up. I'm not sure whether they're still using the furling gear. Maybe not, maybe, but at least they can get head sails up, get their Genoas or Yankees back up, and that'll keep them happy going north. I think that's probably about it. There's no one's been getting much weather by the look of it, except for ships sailing past. I think that's about all. Well, we're back in the office, by the way. You can see, we're in the office, first time in a long time. We've been in the office here for a few years, nearly 3.5 years or something. But we're out of here at the end of April. Then we move on to this one. I shouldn't be wearing this T-shirt. It's MGR. That's our mini globe race, which starts, they start their qualifiers at the end of this year. And then that's our next round the world race in 19-foot or 5.8 metre home-built plywood minis, which will be quite fun. So we're, in a transition. But we're pretty much like the entrants thinking, crikeys, they're all thinking, what's next? They're happy to be getting to the finish, but they're not happy because then it'll all be over. They're all mentioning it, and sort of, it's the end of something quite special. But touch wood, it's never over till the fat lady sings, and there's still a long way to go, 6,000 miles to the finish. So that's about it. We should be into the new positions now. Let's just roll over here. They should have just come in a few minutes ago. What do we got here? Boom. Yeah, we got the new positions. So let's have a look at how that is faring. I don't like the look of. I tend to start over here on the eastern fleet, the eastern side. Explorer's slowing down. There's not a lot of breeze there at all. So that's a wind factor. Doing 5.1 and 146 mile day. That's not so bad. Sterner still doing 6.7. They've got a bit more breeze up there. And they've got 171 mile day, so hooting along. Evrika, 6.5, 157 mile day. Triana, 8.8, flying along, 171. This boat is a standout, absolutely. I mean, these guys and girls on the boat are driving it so hard. You can just see, they're working hard, they're trimming hard. Sebastian's, probably leading the charge there. Just keeping it all together. It's amazing when you look at it. But anyway, they're third in line on us, but first in IRC and first in adventure class, of course. But IRC is the big one. Maiden, 9.9 knots, 177 mile day. So still a little bit faster than Triana. I'm going to pick that up a bit because I want to just to give you some relativity here to show you the distances involved. Even boat for boat rather than along the run line, boat for boat right now, Triana's only 20 odd miles behind Maiden. Now you've got to put that into perspective. You look at Maiden and you look at Triana, there's a bit of difference in the types of boats. Going to windward, Triana should be better, relatively speaking, but not too bad. If you look at the distance on the course to the finish, Maiden is 5,449 to the finish. Triana is 5,478. So 49, 50. So it's only 30 odd miles to the difference. So that's pretty interesting. And then again, I'll get out of there now. So White Shadow, middle of the road, doing okay, 7.1 knots. Still a lot faster than Explorer, but you can see Explorer's running out of breeze big time, which is not good for the future because there's some funny weather coming in the next few days, and they don't want to lag behind. Spirit of Helsinki, 8.4 knots, 166 mile day in a nice breeze there. Same with Galliana with Secure, 8.4 and 174 mile day. L'Esprit de Keep, 8.4, 179 mile day, legging it, pegging each other there, not changing relative positions. Neptune, 8.3 knots and 98 mile day, so lost a bit there. Outlaw, 6.7 knots, 89 mile day, enjoying the ride. As I said, I just spoke to them on the phone. That'll be up on SoundCloud shortly. And Translated 9, 6.2. They're finally moving a bit and doing 109 mile day. We're actually just waiting for a call from Triana, which we want. We've got a press release on hold until they come up, because they will hopefully explain what they saw with the issue of a collision between Triana and Evrika. And when Evrika speared that navigation beacon that caused the damage. So we're desperately hoping they come up. Otherwise, we'll send the press release out without that news. So if he rings now, I'm just going to let this live run and you'll hear the conversation anyway. But he's overdue for the call by an hour and a half. We sent him a message, but still no news from Triana. They're fine. They're just being busy. They haven't run. So Penjuic, 8.9, 43, oops, at AZ, 8.9, and only a 43 nautical mile day. That's probably a factor of moving away from the run line. They've actually been sailing pretty quick, so that could be a glitch or whatever. So forget the daily run. They're still steering 90, basically due east, going for that tactic I was talking about before. I think she's heading out and going to go the clipper ship route. In the Golden Globe race, it's exactly what Kirsten did, who eventually won the race, but it gave her great gains over the other competitors who were a little bit closer inshore. She cleaned up. She took out a couple of weeks heading up, but she lost a lot of that ground when she came to the doldrums, because at the doldrums, the further to the east you are, the wider the doldrums are. Let's just have a look at what's going on with the doldrums right now. Just for the hell of it, it's pretty parallel straight through. But usually you have a thin part here. It goes on an angle like that, and this. So this is the thinnest part of the doldrums usually to get through, and you'll see this fluctuate a lot as they're approaching it. At the moment, the trade winds aren't that strong because this high isn't very dominant. It's definitely the South Atlantic high right now, but it's just not got a lot of pressure in it. So it's not a strong high, and that's not driving the big bit here. And so this is, we'll see in a minute what's going to happen to the local weather, but that's the plan. The clipper ships, they sometimes used to call in there, but they certainly went wide to try and get through the most of it. So they didn't have headwinds. Clipper ships don't like that. They'd get westerlies here or easterlies there, and they can sail to that and get up into these southeasterly trades, which sometimes can extend right down here to the latitude they're on now. This could all be southeasterly trades. It's not quite there yet, and you've still got this little low pressure sitting there, causing the overall confusion with the weather system. So there's some interplay with what's going on there. It's not just a cut case. Usually it's the trades coming across here, and then they slowly arch across and roll down the coast here. But that's mucking things up a bit. For the moment, it's good for them. It's creating this confusion with the centres here and giving a distinct southerly airflow, which is helping the majority of the fleet. So the guys that stuck to the east are doing quite well right now. Stuck to the west are doing quite well right now. So you can see what's happening there. Let's just roll the weather through. Get Penjuic there for the next couple of days and see what that looks like. So here we go. You can see the wind is absolutely dying along the coast here. And that's not good for Explorer. Sterner's going to run out of a bit as well, but they've managed to hold it for now. The mid-fleet here is still going to hold that breeze. So that's going to create a gap. You can see there, bang, bang. And this is only at, in about, what do we got? 18 hours. In about 18 hours, the whole lot is starting to soften off. And, the bad news, well, these boats here, Maiden and Triana and stuff, are going to sit and drift really slowly. Whereas you might get a bit more bees here. Penjuic, she's going to be further ahead to the east maybe, and she's just going to have headwinds, but it'll be light headwinds, and that's not so bad because she can actually start to arc up if she wants to. What that's going to do, I've got no idea, but it starts to get confusing. But it's going to be slow days. You can see this, slow, hot days at all. And you can see there, Maiden, Triana, they'll get, by then, this is nearly 24 hours out, they will have moved significantly in relation to the weather. So I'll show you where they're probably going to do 150 miles. So you can see Triana and Maiden are going to hold the breeze. They'll be over here sometime at this, and it's just a nice gentle run. So, and the others are the same. So all of these boats will be up in here, still going at like 5s and 6s and 7s, which is great. These guys behind, Evrika, Sterner and Explorer, forget it. They're going to be drifting, not doing much at all. So the whole fleet's going to pull away from them. So that's the end of Explorer's story. Excuse me. And anyway, this mid fleet here is going to move forward. Penduic, not sure. She carries on here a little bit longer. As she gets over there, it's going to go light, headwinds, blah, blah, blah. So that's just in the first day. Okay, the second day, coming across the breeze. Okay, there's enough breeze to keep sailing, but look at that. That's crazy. It's very. This is the whole of this side of the Atlantic is really confused. Holes, not much breeze. These guys will be up here. I think they'll hold it and they'll keep moving at 4 knots and things like that, 4 and 5. Penduic, not sure. She's going to sit down here. It's very confusing. This is that little low that took off before. It's now formed over there, and this is the back end. There's just not enough breeze in here to keep Penduic happy even. So we've got a few more slow days ahead. I hope people packed enough food. This is going through to the 13th. So this is now a full 2.5 days ahead. By then, it's like the secondary doldrums here. This is another area of very confused, light, patchy. You could get anything in there. There's not enough pressure gradient here to give anything that's distinct. So there'll be winners and losers in here depending on where you are. And that's about where they'll be when that's happening. Then once they get through this confusion, which will take them a few days, you're starting to get into the remnants of what's left with the trade winds. And you can see then, I mean, they're not going to be there on the 13th. Let's just give you an idea of how far away Recife is. Recife is sort of like the turning point of the whole deal, 1,200 miles. So that's going to be another week, so at least probably 7 days or so. So in 7 days, so by 7 days they could be up by Recife. It's now the 11th, so that's going to be 18th. So let's just see what it's looking like on the 18th. In fact, I'll roll this so you can see what happens to the doldrums. This is where the doldrums normally sit, and they're going to be entering the doldrums probably on about the 18th or so. So there goes the 14th. It's getting wider again, but still a bit of breeze around Recife. Here we go. 17th is it's holding, but then it's going to start to open up. Yeah, so you're starting to get the traditional doldrums turn up. I think that's what we saw the other day. So it's looking like there will be, yeah, there it is. Not that bad. But if this, it's hard to tell this weather, it's a long way in front. But anyway, that's a bit too far. But 18, 19, yep, there's going to be doldrums there for them just in time. If they were up there now, they would sail straight through. This could be a slow leg. Anyway, all a bit hard to predict. Very hard to predict because of this low and the high over here, and then another.
You say your screen stuck. Long time.
Oh, really? Bloody hell! I just got the word that the screen is stuck. Why is that? It's stuck on me.
No, stuck on the screen. It's not moving.
Still frozen. Don, reboot tracker, please. Frozen. Oh, bloody hell. Okay. I'm going to reboot everything. I'm assuming people can. What a bugger. I wish anyway. I'm catching you live finally. Penduic. I'm not sure how long it's gone for. Let's see if someone's given me an indication. 3:10. 1:10. It's now, so probably 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to reboot everybody. Stand there. Reload. Okay, so I've just reloaded the tracker. And can you see that, Jane? If you can get on.
Yes, I think the wire is moving. If you move the screen, you cannot move the screen.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I saw the wire, the logo changing.
Hello, everybody. I've just rebooted, and I'm going to try and get back on track here and see what happens.
I think it's moving. Oh, now it's you.
No, it should be back on the tracker now.
No, it's you. Now it's the tracker.
Now it's the tracker. Okay. Can someone tell me how far down you got? I don't want to go through the whole lot again, if possible. Did we? I'm not sure how long when it stopped exactly. Frozen at 3:11. Screen frozen. The voice does not match the screen. I'm not sure what's happening there. So, what a pain. There you go. Since the start, it was since the start. Jeepers. We're going to do the whole thing again. Oh, shit. Okay. 11th of March was frozen. Oh, thank you. Bloody hell. Okay. So, well, I hope you enjoyed watching a frozen screen. And I take it you can see me now. So to get this clear, I'm going to start the whole thing again from the very beginning. Does that make sense? Someone say yes. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. All right. Lucky I don't want to go to the toilet, eh? Jeepers. Right. So I'll, yep, since the start. I wonder what that was. Couldn't get your attention. Oh, thanks, Howard. Okay. I got the gist of it. All right. Well, bloody hell, I'll give you a quick one. It's horrible when you got to do it all again. All right. So we're back on today's weather. Jane, you keep having a look, okay? Yeah. Okay, so we're on today's weather. You can see over here, Explorer's got very little wind, which explains why she's going slow, 5.1 knots, 146 nautical miles. Not because they're having parties and cooking bread and cakes and all that sort of stuff. It's too hot for that. Sterner, 6.7, a little bit faster than Explorer, so made some ground, 171 nautical mile a day, 6.7 knots because they got more breeze. They're not better sailors. They just got more wind. Evrika fixed up their Genoa and now on a roll, about to pass Sterner, 6.5 knots, 157 mile a day. Stand out from the crowd, take a bow, Triana, still flying up there, 8.8 knots, which is probably the fastest in the fleet just about, and doing 171 nautical mile a day. No wonder they're running IRC leader, which is pretty cool. And just in front of them, Maiden, they're only about 20 miles, 30 miles in front, 9.9. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So they are the fastest, maybe. 177 mile a day, heading out in the right direction. White Shadow, another Swan 57, but it's got supercharged compared to Explorer. 7.1 knots, 172 mile a day. For JC and the boys, having a beautiful time sailing downwind, but it's getting hot. Spirit of Helsinki, 8.4. 166 nautical mile a day, just average for that boat, but it's not. I think it's not for lack of trying to sail. It's just the conditions not suiting them right now. But at least it's downwind. Galliana was secure, 8.4. They're going as fast as Helsinki. Look at that. Jeepers, that's flying. And right on the hammer of L'Esprit de Keep, doing 8.4 knots as well. Maybe L'Esprit doesn't know it, and they've got a tow rope on Galliana, which is why they're keeping up with them. I'm not sure. 179 mile a day, but they're having their own fun. And then Neptune lagging a bit behind overall, but that's looking good now, 8.3 knots, 98 nautical miles. When I say lagging behind, those that went out to the east and then try to catch up. Galliana, you can see they cut the corner, so that helped them, less distance sailed. Outlaw, happy as. They had some of the toughest conditions of their race so far just days ago when they were bouncing and smashing into it with all their hatches shut. No, not much ventilation on that boat. They've only got one little ventilator under the Dodger. That's it. Anyway, 89 mile a day, doing okay. Translated 9, breaking away from Penjuic. We thought they were covering them, but they've decided to get out of there. 6.2. They've had some slow times in the last 24 hours. Only 109 mile a day. And Penjuic charging out to meet up with the clipper ships. I reckon. I might be wrong, but I doubt whether they've got they would have made this plan in Punta. So I think they're just hanging on to the traditional route, get out and around, which worked for Kirsten in the Golden Globe as well. But let's see that will play out in the future. The issue with the weather right now, before we move it forward, just so you can see what's causing all this, this is the South Atlantic high, but it's not very strong, right? It's very low gradients, from top to bottom. So it's not a powerful high, so it's being pushed around a bit by the things on the edges of it. And you're going to see shortly a big big area of no wind open up here. And certainly that low is a problem, but it's good for these guys at the moment because it's creating a southerly wind. And this is another high that's starting up. That's helping that southerly wind as well. So that's going to roll them round in, put them in a good position going forward. And that's why the run line position generally is favoured for the next 3 or 4 days still, as per the routing programs, if you put all this into a computer right now. So, okay, I'll get these down here. You can see Penjuic there. And let's look at what the weather's going to do going forward. Boom, boom, boom. I hope you're still watching this. So the middle fleet here, except for Explorer and Sterner, are going to miss out. Explorer will miss out first, and then Sterner will start to run out of breeze. These guys here are holding the breeze. They'll sail right through that. Not super fast, but at least they'll keep moving in the right direction, and then it starts to go light. So there it is in 24 hours time. But so it's really light here for Evrika, Sterner, Explorer. I think Triana and Maiden will be right. They'll be up here by then, and they'll hold this light breeze. So they'll still be sailing at 5s and maybe even 6s with the big spinnakers up and so on. White Shadow, bit in between, but just enough. They'll hold this breeze a bit. But I think these three are going to drop behind a bit. Spirit of Helsinki will hold that breeze as well, and all of these guys will just keep sailing slowly and quietly north. What's going to happen to Penjuic depends when she changes and starts to arc up. It should happen soon because you're still sailing. You're not sailing away from the mark, but you're not making any gains. So let's just wait and see. I have no idea what Penjuic will do, but if she's out here, she's got light headwinds, but that's fine. Powerful boat like that, you're still moving. At least you've got breeze. So that's in the first 24 hours. Going through again as it's happening. By the time we get there, they're up in here, and you can see this is getting really crazy again. So it's just nothing happening. The lows come out of there. It's formed up over here, a bit of a blow, and here just a mishmash. And that's where you're going to get winners and losers here. Some people have horrible local weather, like Explorer and Sterner and Evrika are going to get with no wind. So it's very hard to predict, but you could expect to see some frustrations here and question marks as to why is that boat going so fast forward and the others aren't. And then even in the next few days, this is where they're due to be. And, this is 2 to 3 days out. This is where they're due to be. And you can see there's nothing. So it's like a mini doldrums. This is what I was saying before. It's really, not going to be much fun. But once they get through that in 4 or 5 days, there is the remnants of a southeasterly trade wind, and that'll take them through to the doldrums. But it's not going to be as good as this. If they're up here now, they'd sail straight through, and there'd be no doldrums, and then they've just got to deal with the northeasterly and try and hold it as high as they can, balancing speed to course. The higher you are, the more direct the course. They'll be going up here, up to the Azores. This is where they want to end up, way up here through the Azores and so on. I think you all know how that course works. So it's a real challenge even once they get through the doldrums. Okay, I think that's probably it. I've had enough. You must have had enough of my voice by now. I'll come back here and we didn't look at the leaderboard. We could look at the leaderboard now because there are some positions to consider. Even though the fleet is spread wide across, it can change very rapidly now. Because the fleet spread, across the run line at like 600 miles or something, these positions can change radically at any time. So line honours is Helsinki, Maiden, Triana, L'Esprit de Keep, Galliana with Secure, White Shadow, Evrika, Outlaw, Translated 9, and Sterner and Neptune and Penjuic. Penjuic's 12th in line honours. Don't worry, that's going to change. And Explorer. So Explorer's only it's only 6 days behind. That's not bad. Distance to the finish. Let's have a look at this. Go Explorer. Explorer is only about 50 miles behind Penjuic. She's flying. Wow. You can see how ridiculous these numbers are. Anyway, but they're good on you, Explorer. You're pacing it with Penjuic. All right, so we now go to the big numbers, IRC. And Triana is just flying ahead in all directions. Triana currently is 3 days ahead of Maiden on IRC. and 4 days ahead of Galliana with Secure, which is doing pretty well. Galliana with Secure is doing okay. And then it's another day to Spirit of Helsinki. So that's pretty interesting. Triana, Maiden, and Galliana, they're the ones to watch. White Shadow's doing well, 57.14. That's cool. It's free to keep. Next, so it's kind of interesting. All the numbers. Evrika, Sterner's up there. That's all right. Translated 9. Wow, way down here, 61. And Outlaw and Neptune, Explorer. Go Explorer. JJ, Explorer on IRC. Hey? Jeepers. Oh, maybe. Bloody hell. We're going to take a screenshot of that and frame it. Hey?
Jack already did.
Oh, jeepers. That's pretty cool. Well, sorry, Maiden. Penjuic, I know you really, these things happen in life. Jeepers. Wow. Okay. Well, some things, can make your day quite happy. I better not say too much. Everyone's listening. Anyway. Okay. So what can you say? But it's Explorer's Day. Yeah, baby. Okay. That's enough. Okay. Now to get serious again. I'm assuming it's still working. It says here that it's still frozen. Have you been following it, Tintin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to the beginning.
Now seeing you now.
Sorry?
Yeah, now seeing you.
Yeah. Okay. G'day, YouTube. I'm only seeing static maps. Nothing that you are talking about. My problem. Okay. So you heard me enough now. Jeepers. I've got so many comments here about all that. I think I'm just going to go straight to the bottom and go up from there. All part of the fan. It was okay. I got it. It's so many comments here. Now it's moving too fast. It's still working. Super cool, Don. Yeah, thanks. Yes, working. Thank you. Good day, everybody. Thanks for that. Such a comprehensive review. Wow, today's a bit of a disaster. Adelaide's followers having no trouble staying up late. Once again, too hot to sleep in Adelaide. Bloody hell. Okay, I'm going to miss Don trying to master technology. Yeah, it's not my fault. That's the internet. Anyway, or something happened. I just imagine what you meant. Okay, technology. Yep. Okay, that's cool. Yep, since the start. All right, I think that's it. So we'll see you same time tomorrow. And I'm going to do the questions after this. I'm still waiting for Triana. We've got some questions there, so I'll come up with that in the next I'll have a break for 10 minutes. And then I will absolutely answer the questions that people put up there before. There's not many. All right, 3 minutes. Jeepers. See you later.